prevented something from that happening. Our perimeter is expansive. It basically covers most of downtown Washington, D.C. It's effectuated by many, many miles of hard fence, and is supported by many, many thousands of law enforcement and National Guard personnel. The National Guard has been extremely supportive in this regard. We're very mindful that they have a mission beyond the National Capital Region, and we're working with the General and his staff to ensure that we don't deplete all the various states of what they might need over the coming days. And with that said, sir, I'll turn over to General Hokinson for his comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. General.
Thank you, Vice President Pence, for the opportunity to cover what our National Guard troops are doing in support of district and federal authorities and around the nation. Right now, we have approximately 7,000 National Guard soldiers and airmen on the ground in support of the federal lead agency, and we're building to 21,000 for the upcoming inauguration. They're under the command and control of Major General William Walker, the Commanding General of the D.C. National Guard, and they're providing security, communications, logistics, and coordination with all supported agencies. For the safety of all involved, and in close coordination with the agencies we're supporting, our Guard members are armed and equipped commensurate with the missions they've been asked to do. This is what we do, and we're trained to do it. As always, our first priority is to protect people and property and the safety and well-being of our National Guard personnel and their families. I visit with these men and women every night, and they understand the importance of this mission. They are also proven, prepared, and proud to do their part to ensure a peaceful and safe inauguration of our 46th Commander-in-Chief. In addition, we're working closely with our adjutants general across the nation to ensure they have the personnel and equipment to meet any requirements in their communities. This includes the response to COVID-19, support to Operation Warp Speed, and any new requests for assistance. As you may be aware, the forefathers of today's National Guard were present for the inauguration of George Washington, and we've been part of every inauguration since. This support is made possible by our governors and their adjutants general, who have met every request we've asked of them. Lastly, I would like to thank our National Guard service members and the families and employers who make their service possible. While the last 12 months have been unprecedented, we continue to respond to every mission, both here at home and overseas, living true to our motto, always ready, always there. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Chris?
Mr. Vice President, just as we're doing with our investigation into last week's violent activities at the Capitol, we're bringing our aggressive operational capabilities and deep investigative and intelligence expertise to next week's inauguration. So, as Director Murray said, while the Secret Service takes the lead in inaugural security, the FBI is the lead federal agency for crisis response, for counterterrorism investigations, and intelligence analysis. And in that vein, as Director Murray said, we've been planning for months and months on this, which is part of what I think gives us the confidence that we have. At the FBI, we've set up a national command post at FBI headquarters, as well as a command post in our Washington field office, which I know you've visited before and you would recognize, as well as we're having command posts in all 56 of our field offices. Those command posts bring together personnel, not just from the FBI, but from across the government, to gather intelligence, to assess potential threats, to coordinate investigations, and to surge resources where needed. And they make it possible to share information in real time and allow our personnel to continually update those threat assessments. And those command posts are going to be running 24/7 through the inauguration and in some cases in the days to follow. We're monitoring all incoming leads, whether they're calls for armed protests, potential threats that grow out of the January 6th breach of the Capitol, or other kinds of potential threats leading up to inaugural events, and then various other targets. So we're lashed up with all of our partners in that regard. When we talk about potential threats, maybe I'll just say a word or two about that. We are seeing an extensive amount of concerning online chatter, I guess the best way I would describe it, about a number of events surrounding the inauguration. And together with our partners, we evaluate those threats and what kind of resources to deploy against them. Right now, we're tracking calls for potential armed protests and activity leading up to the inauguration. And the reason I use the word potential is because one of the real challenges in this space is trying to distinguish what's aspirational versus what's intentional. We're concerned about the potential for violence at multiple protests and rallies planned here in D.C. and at state capitol buildings around the country in the days to come that could bring armed individuals within close proximity to government buildings and officials. As you can imagine, the volume of information up there is significant, but we've been pushing that information as rapidly as possible to all of our relevant law enforcement and intelligence partners. And if we find that an individual poses a violent threat, then we and our partners will take advantage of every lawful authority and method we've got to disrupt any attempt or attack. Our posture is aggressive, and it's going to stay that way through the inauguration. So in that vein, we and our partners have already arrested more than 100 individuals for their criminal activities in last week's siege of the Capitol and continue to pursue countless other related investigations. And those help not only prevent those individuals from any effort to repeat that kind of activity, but also should serve as a very stern warning to anybody else who might be inclined to try to engage in that activity. But we're also taking other steps. You know, the American people may not hear about every disruption in the media and may not see the FBI's hand in everything we do, but they should be confident that there's an awful lot of work all across the country going on behind the scenes out of the spotlight, where we're feeding relevant information to all of our partners so that they can harden targets as appropriate. And as I said, we're looking at individuals who may have an eye towards repeating that same kind of violence that we saw last week. I mean, from January 6th alone, we've already identified over 200 suspects. So we know who you are if you're out there, and FBI agents are coming to find you. My advice to people who might be inclined to follow in the footsteps of those who engaged in the kind of activity that we saw last week is stay home. Look at what's happening now to the people who were involved in the Capitol siege, wherever they scattered to, whether it was Memphis, Phoenix, Dallas, Honolulu. What they were finding is we've got FBI agents tracking them down and arresting them. And if I were those people, you don't want to be the ones that have FBI agents knocking on your door at 6 a.m. So anybody who plots or attempts violence in the coming week should count on a visit. So together with our partners here in the district and across the country, we're going to be doing everything we can to ensure a smooth transition of power in the days to come. This is a team effort, and I'm really proud of the team that you have assembled here.
Well, thank you, Director Wray. Thank you for the FBI's aggressive posture on bringing to justice those who desecrated the seat of our democracy last week. And leaning into investigations about any potential threats surrounding our inauguration. I'm truly grateful to the men and women of the FBI. General Hokanson, let me also convey to you the gratitude I know of our entire administration and the American people for the citizen soldiers who are here in our nation's capital today and their families. I hope you'll convey to them just how proud and grateful the American people are for the work they have done and that the work they'll do in the historic days ahead. And to Director Murray, thank you very much. I know the U.S. Secret Service is in the lead, but you sharing that literally dozens and dozens of coordinated multi-agency events have taken place successfully, safely here in our nation's capital gives great encouragement to us and to any American that would be looking on today. And to the Acting Secretary, thank you for FEMA's role in all of this important work. And I look forward to a further discussion. But I want to say to each and every one of you, on behalf of the President and on behalf of the nation, to remain vigilant. The American people deserve a safe inauguration on January 20th, and I encourage you to convey to all of the members of your teams to continue to lean forward to ensure that we achieve just that. And I welcome the words of confidence. I think Secretary Gaynor, you said confidence is high, and The American people can be confident that our administration will continue to work every day between now and January 20th to ensure an orderly transition. And we'll continue to work with all of the agencies represented here and the tens of thousands of men and women that are working around the clock to ensure a safe inauguration for our president-elect, for our vice president-elect, and for all of the American people. They deserve nothing less. And I thank you for your efforts. Thank you all.